Aloe Traders assume a VAT rate of 14%. The following information relates to the details of Aloe Traders for the month of February 2013. Aloe Traders sells tyres to the public and to other tyre repair businesses. Aloe Traders is registered for VAT. The policy of Aloe Traders is to grant a settlement discount of 5%. There you are. On accounts settled within 30 days from the date of sale. A further trade discount, let's do that in a different color. Trade discount is granted at the discretion of Aloe Traders. The year end of Aloe Traders is 28 February. The debtors balances as at 1 February 2013 were as follows. Era, Goodyear and Enterprises 7,000, 3,600 and 100. During the month of February, the following transactions were concluded by Aloe. And what I want you to do is to do the journal entries for all those transactions that took place during the month of February. So let's start with Goodyear Enterprises. You discovered that a credit note with an amount of 160 Rand was issued on the account of Goodyear Enterprises on 2 January 2013, but it was processed as an invoice. This was only discovered in February and no payment has been made on the invoice. Now, how many days do they have for the settlement discount to kick in? They have 30 days from the date of sale. The date of sale was 2 January. So if it was only discovered in February, it is clear that the settlement period has already expired. So when we make the correction for the credit note, we can ignore the settlement discount portion, which potentially could have an impact on this transaction that we have to pass. But in this case, because the period is already expired, it will have no impact. Now, what happened is they, instead of crediting the debtors account, they debited the debtors account because they processed it as an invoice instead of a credit note. So there is now 160 Rand debit entry on the debtors account. How am I going to rectify it? If I'm only going to credit the debtors account with 160 Rand, I have just eliminated the mistake, but I haven't passed the credit note as yet. So that means I have to credit the debtors account twice in order to make the correction entry. One to take out the first incorrect entry and the second 160 Rand to actually record the credit note that has to be passed. So I'm going to credit the debtors control account with 2 times 160 Rand, which is 320 Rand. I'm going to pass a debit against my sales, which is the VAT exclusive amount, 320 divided by 1.14 of 281 Rand, and I'm going to debit my VAT control account statement of financial position with a 39 Rand. Then on 10 February 2013, let's take a different color. On 10 February 2013, goods with a normal invoice price of 6,100 Rand were sold to Goodyear Enterprises. At the time of the sale, it was estimated that Goodyear Traders will take advantage of the settlement discount. In addition, Aloe Traders granted them another one. In addition, Aloe granted Goodyear Enterprises a trade discount of 2% on the invoice amount. Goodyear then paid on 2 March, but they only require from us the entries for the month of February. So we don't have to record the payment that we've received, only the sales transaction. Now, what is our first step? Our first step is determine the invoice price. The invoice price is not 6,100 Rand. The invoice price is 98% of 6,100. That's the first thing. The second thing is we have to take out the VAT. The third thing is determine the VAT exclusive invoice price. The fourth thing is split the VAT exclusive invoice price into its 2 legs. 95% will go to sales and 5% of the VAT exclusive invoice amount will go to my allowance for settlement discount. So let's do them one by one. Determine the invoice price. The invoice price, 6,100 times 98%, 5,978, will be posted against the debit side of the debtors control account. Determine the VAT, 5,978 divided by 1.14 times 14%. There it is. That will go to our VAT output account, 734 Rand. Next step, determine the VAT exclusive price, 5,978 less 734 equals 5,244. 5,244 times 95% will go to my sales statement of profit or loss. 5,244 times 5% is going to be posted against our allowance for settlement discount account, statement of financial position 262. At what value will this debtor be shown in the statement of financial position? At 5,978 less the allowance of 262. So at the end of the period, I'm going to add up all my outstanding debtors. So I'm going to take my debtors control account. I'm going to have a final figure for my allowance for settlement discount, which I'm going to deduct from my total of my debtors control account. I will also have an allowance for credit losses, which I'm going to deduct from the total of our debtors control account, and the net trade receivables will be transferred to the face of our statement of financial position. Great. Era trading. The balance of era trading on 1 February was overcosted by 6,850. So that 7,000 Rand must not have been 7,000 Rand. It should have been 7,000 less 150, sorry. That equals 6,850. Now this is a costing error. So what you do is you actually draw a line through the 7,000 and you replace it with 6,850. It's not an accounting entry that you have to pass. Then on 11 February 2013, Era Traders settled the balance carried forward from January. The balance relates to a single sale made on 20 January 2013. So what you have to determine now is, did they settle within the settlement period? Because that will determine what the amount was that they've paid us. We have sold to them on the 11th of February. So 11 to 28 gives us 28 less 11 gives us 17 days. And the sale was made on the 20th of January. So 20 to 30 is 11 days plus another 11 days is 22 days. So that is well within the 30 days. So obviously they were able to utilize the settlement discount of 5%. So the amount that they're going to pay me is not going to be the 6,850. The amount that they're going to pay me is the 6,850 multiplied by 95% after they have deducted the settlement discount of 5%. So what are we going to receive into our bank account? In our bank account, 6,850 times 95%, they are going to pay us 6,508. But what is the outstanding balance on their account? The outstanding balance that we have to clean out against their account is 6,850. So we're going to create our debtors control account with 6,850. What is the difference between the two? 342 Rand. That is the settlement discount that we've granted, but inclusive of VAT. So if I take the VAT exclusive amount, 342 divided by 1.14, 300 Rand, that would have been the allowance that we have initially provided for this sales transaction to take place. So 6,850, that was the invoice amount. We took out the VAT, we multiplied that by 5%. That is the amount we created as an allowance for settlement discount initially. So that is the amount that we remove out of the books now. So we're going to debit the allowance for settlement discount with 300 Rand. Now the receiver of revenue allows us now to claim the VAT on the 300 Rand. So 300 times 14% equals 42 Rand, and that will go against my input VAT account. On 15 February 2013, goods were sold to Era Trading. The amount should be recorded in the sales account for the transaction and that amount is 3,800. The amount that should be recorded in the sales account for this transaction is 3,800 Rand. Era Trading always pays within the 30 days and therefore always qualifies for the settlement discount. So this is a nice way of telling you that you should make provision for the settlement discount when the sales transaction is recorded in the first place. Now the amount that was posted to the sales account was 3,800. Now what do we post to the sales account? We will post to the sales account 95% of the VAT exclusive amount. So that means we can use the 3,800 Rand to work backwards to the invoice value of this transaction. Sales would have been credited with the 3,800 Rand they gave it to us. What does the 3,800 Rand equates to? It equates to 95% of the VAT exclusive invoice amount. So if I divide 3,800 divided by 95%, it gives me my VAT exclusive amount of 4,000 Rand. What will go to our debtors control account? The VAT inclusive invoice amount. So therefore 4,000 times 1.14. 4,560 would have been debited against the debtors control account because that is the invoice value. Now the VAT exclusive amount is 4,000. The VAT inclusive amount is 4,560. So what is the VAT? The VAT equals 560 Rand. That will be posted against my output VAT account. The 4,000 Rand, my VAT inclusive amount, we have already recorded 95% against sales, so the other 5% would have been recorded against our allowance for settlement discount, statement of financial position, 200 Rand. And now if I add up those three entries there, 560, 760, 4,560, it will balance back to our debit that we've posted, 4,560. The last one is Jolly Traders. They owed us 100 Rand in the beginning of the month. Now, Jolly Traders, on 5 February 2013, the sales department sold goods with an invoice amount of 102 out without referring the transaction to the credit control department. Jolly Traders is a slow payer and no discount was recognized at the date of the initial sale. So there was no allowance for settlement discount entry on the 5th of February. So let's account for that transaction. It's a normal sales transaction, no allowance. So we would debit the Jolly Traders and the debtors control account with 1020. We would have credited the VAT exclusive amount to sales and the VAT to the VAT output account. Debtors control debit 1020. Sales with a VAT exclusive amount of 895. And then 895 times 14% would have been posted to our output VAT account, 125 Rand. Jolly Traders was liquidated on 25 February and the liquidators advised that 15 cents will be paid for every 1 Rand. So this sales department, actually, they should be reprimanded for this oversight on the 5th of February. However, they have informed us that we will receive 15 cents in the Rand. This amount was not yet been received on the 28th of February. Now what now? Now we're going to have our financial year end and we have to disclose debtors in our financial year end. Our financial year end is 28 February. There it is. To make sure that there is a faithful representation of our debtors figures in our statement of financial position, we will have to write off this 85 cents in the Rand that we are not going to receive from this debtor. And we will never receive that, so we're not going to create an allowance for settlement discount for that amount. We are physically going to write off that 85 cents in the Rand because we know that we will never ever receive that. It's not a gut feel, it is a fact of life. We are not going to receive that. Now, these people owe us 100 Rand opening balance plus 1020. So in total, 1120. We will receive 15 cents in the Rand. So we are going to receive 168 Rand. So how much are we not going to receive? We are not going to receive 1120, the outstanding balance, less the 168, which equals 952. So that is what we're going to write off now. We're going to let the 168 Rand remain in the debtors account. So once the liquidators are going to pay us that 15 cents in the Rand, then we will clear out that account completely. But for now, we have to write off the 952 as a credit losses. So an expense account, credit losses written off, statement of profit or loss with a VAT exclusive portion of the 952. So 952 divided by 1.14 will be then recognized as an expense. We can claim the input VAT. This is not output VAT. This is input VAT. On that 835 Rand. So 835 times 14% is 117 Rand. And then we're going to credit debtors control and Jolly Traders individual debtors account with a full amount of 952, the amount that we are not going to recover from them.